I found something that I was not expecting in this hive. Okay, so I'm over here at the butterfly hive. This one was way more straightforward than the freedom hive. I thought that I was supposed to take apart all the frames. A bunch of people said, no, don't take apart all the frames. You'll break all the propolis seals. But I don't really know how I could have done anything differently. So here in the garden hive, this is a 12 frame hive. I found this to be a little bit of a weirder hive, a little bit less intuitive than the other ones. As you're watching this, just keep in mind this is my first year, so don't assume that I'm doing everything correctly. Hey guys, Elizabeth, the curly-haired country gal here. I can't wait to show you how year one of natural beekeeping is wrapping up. I went ahead and did my fall inspection and winterized today, and I'm really happy with how year one turned out. Let's do this thing. Today's the day. This is the 25th, I think, of October, and my helper and I are going to fill our pillowcases with wool as part of the winterizing process of the hives, and we will see if there's anything to harvest.
Why in the heck do we need to keep the beehives warm?
Mommy, can you please,
Yes.
can you please hold this for me?
There's some wool to make pillows.
We do.
It smells.
I know.
Step two, these guys are getting some pine needles for me for the smoker. I am getting ready to look into the freedom hive. I have my tote here, and in this tote I just put some pieces of wood to hold the frame, so that will hold the Layens frames. And I finally lit my smoker. These things are like the bane of my beekeeping existence, but you know, third world problems. So I'm really excited to see how many frames I find of honey or whatever. My understanding is I'm gonna keep looking through the frames until I find brood. So I gotta go carefully and slowly. That'll be toward the entrance. And then I'll stop one frame before the brood where there should hopefully be a frame of honey, and take the frames previous to that. What I need to get is the divider board, because there's no divider board in here right now. So I gotta go grab that. All right, so we've got 3 frames where it's just...
Can you get the bee off?
Sure. Oh, she's back. She can't get you though. She can't even touch your head. All right, so there's 3 frames here, just with a tiny bit of foundation onto the, with a tiny bit of comb onto the foundation. And then we've got 3 frames where they were starting to build it out. And then now on the next 3, there's quite a bit of foundation and actually a little bit of uncapped honey in there. It's a little hard to see, but it's pretty shiny. And then on this next frame, so this would be number 10, it looks like quite a bit of uncapped honey. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it. And there's a little bit of capped honey at the top.
That was holding my eye. Does it hurt your eyes sometimes?
The sunshine?
No, the smoke.
Oh yeah, if I get it in my eyes, it does. Oh, here comes the capped honey.
Let me see.
Oh, here, I'll bring it over. Please don't run around the tripod.
Okay. Move it. Get off of my tail, little fly. The bees are getting to the flames in the bucket. Oh. Some bees were smelling me.
Oh yeah. They're curious about you.
Maybe I smell like honey because I was touching. I see a lot of honey in
So
here.
now I'm just trying to keep an eye on where they're keeping the brood, where the babies are. I don't want to go too far.
I need to use the smoker.
Oh, okay.
Thanks. buzzing them. Like one got on your glove.
Yeah, that's all right.
Two got on your glove.
That's good for now. Thank you, my sweetie. Oh, my brush. That's what I need. Can you please get me my bee brush from the bucket?
Sure. Why do you need a brush?
I'm going to brush them off.
Weird.
Weird?
Yeah, weird. I don't know why you do that.
They don't like being brushed, but...
That's the best thing you can do to get them off. Oh, smoky. More bees come on there.
Thank you.
Let's see some more bees.
All right, looking good. Don't bring your chair too close, sweetie pie. Yeah, just gently back it up. I found something that I was not expecting in this hive. I've pulled out 14 frames and I kept looking for brood, and I think it's a little bit more difficult than I expected because the frames are so dense with bees. I guess I expected it to be pretty obvious, like a bunch of empty frames and then all of a sudden there's some honey and then there's brood. So I'm getting the hang of it, but what was very surprising was that I saw the queen. Now this colony came from Monty, the suburban sodbuster, and he had a marked queen with a yellow dot. This queen was not marked. So I guess this hive did swarm, and that makes me a little maybe concerned that this new queen was hatched kind of late, and I don't know if she didn't have her mating flight or if that wasn't successful, but I'm really not seeing much brood. So I don't want to totally tear up all their propolis seals, but I saw her walking around in there. There's only 6 frames left in there, and they had a pretty nice, you know, upside down L shape of honey and a lot of comb, but I'm just not seeing brood. So I don't want to tear apart the whole thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the divider board past the 6th frame where it's just comb and uncapped honey and capped honey. And then even the next frame where I saw the queen, there were really, I just didn't see any brood. Anyway, so that's an interesting development on the Freedom Hive. We'll see if it makes it through the winter. So now I'm going to go ahead and just put this divider board up here and put this pillowcase with wool on top and close it up and call this hive winterized. Okay, so the Freedom Hive was my largest hive, so from that I have what I think to be a surplus of 2 frames with a very small amount of honey, 2 frames with maybe a third of the frame or so. It's a little hard to see. And then 2 frames that have about almost halfway full of honey. Maybe not quite. More than the other one. But that doesn't mean that we get to harvest that, because as per the Layens book, I'm going to see if any other hives will need some of these resources and share if needed. Okay, so I'm over here at the butterfly hive. Now this one was way more straightforward than the Freedom Hive. I got through, there's 20 frames total, but only 14 of them just had foundation. And so it was just the 6 that basically that were in the swarm trap that had honey on it and any comb built out. So I took out all the extra ones, and there wasn't any brood on 6. And then on 5, I didn't see any brood. So I was gonna go ahead and shake out. Oh, I went in the wrong order. I should have shaken off 6, but I shook off 5 and the queen actually fell off. But thankfully she was right on top of the hive and she went back in. So I just went ahead and left all 6. I think, or maybe I found her on 4. Anyway, I feel like I could have taken 1, but I just went ahead and left all 6. Oh, there's a little Japanese beetle or whatever. Anyway, this one was way faster, way easier. We're gonna go up to the umbrella hive. Thank you. And then of course we put on the pillow, and then we put the entrance disc on the queen excluder, just basically as a mouse guard, and then we were done. So I just checked out the umbrella hive up in the orchard. That one was a pretty small colony, or a pretty small swarm from the beginning, ever since we caught the swarm. So I went ahead and got through all the frames. I thought that I was supposed to take apart all the frames. A bunch of people said, no, don't take apart all the frames. You'll break all the propolis seals. But I don't really know how I could have done anything differently, because there was honey on the very first frame. And then on the second frame, I finally found a little bit of brood. I never saw the queen, but I didn't look super hard for her. And then on frames 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, it was just honey, capped honey, and a pretty good amount. I thought that I could have just left 4 frames, but I went ahead and left 6 just to try to be generous, because I've heard this is going to be a long, cold winter. So last one is the garden hive. Hi, Dinkins. The last one. Getting the last one out. There we go. So here in the garden hive, this is a 12 frame hive. I found this to be a little bit of a weirder hive, a little bit less intuitive than the other ones. So I'm looking forward to moving this colony, hopefully if it survives the winter, into a 20 frame hive next year. Because when I was going through it, it just, I ended up looking on all the frames. So sorry, propolis seals, but there was like little tiny patches of brood on a bunch of the frames. So I just don't know how they organize it when the entrance is that slit in the middle. And then I still have to go back through. I put a pillow under the lid and I covered that, but I still need to go back through and put some sort of filling in the entrance to kind of close that up. So I ended up just leaving 12 frames in there. I just don't really know what else to do. Yeah, the honey seems kind of spread out, the brood seems kind of spread out, so I'm just gonna kind of leave everything. So when it was all said and done, I have 6 frames of honey that I'm gonna harvest, at least partial frames. Some of the bees are still kind of interested in that, and then 2 frames that have barely any honey on it, but I'll see how much comes off of it. And then just a great thing that came from this year was just so much comb being built out, because I started with nothing, and I think that this is too much foundation, but just to see how they've built out that comb, and it's so beautiful, that really makes me hopeful and excited for next year, because they're already going to have that huge head start and they can keep building the comb, but then hopefully store up more reserves of honey and brood and expand, because my hope is to double the apiary next year. I have 4 colonies now. Hopefully 1 or 2 or 3 will make it through the winter, and then I have 3 more 20 frame hives available, plus a 12 and a 14 frame hive. So I'm hoping to double the apiary. But again, as you're watching this, just keep in mind this is my first year, so don't assume that I'm doing everything correctly. This is just me doing my best in my first year without a mentor super close by. And if you're enjoying this and you want to keep up with me doing natural beekeeping, go ahead and subscribe. Or if you've enjoyed this video, you can like it. As always, let me know in the comments if I should have done something differently. But again, I'm happy with how the year turned out for my first year of beekeeping. Thanks for watching.